Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. My name is Toyin. I'm from Nigeria and I am a human resource professional. So if you haven't watched my previous video, please check out my previous video and see what I have discussed. In my previous video, I talked about criticism at workplace, and today I'm going to talk about bullying at workplace. Yeah. So criticism at workplace was the former one I spoke about, and today I'm going to talk about bullying. So if you want to know more about criticism at workplace, please go back to my previous video and learn one or two things from my videos. Talking about today's topic, bullying at workplace. What is bullying? What do you understand by the word bullying? Do we even understand that we're being bullied sometimes when we're at work? Well, simply put, bullying is any behavior that makes you feel intimidated. Any behavior that makes you feel intimidated. It could be from your boss, it could be from your team, it could be from a group of, managers in your organization. Any behavior you're not comfortable with that makes you feel intimidated, that makes you feel belittled, that makes you feel unwanted. Okay, that is bullying. All right, so let us talk about the feelings. What are these feelings we're talking about? Bullying can make you feel intimidated, like I previously said. It can make you feel degraded. It can make you feel disrespected. That is bullying. So once you have that feeling of disrespect, you have the feeling that someone is trying, a group of persons is trying to degrade your integrity as an individual, or your personality, or maybe your culture, or your age, whatever it is that you're being disrespected for, it is bullying, or insulted for, it is bullying. Okay, now what are the examples of bullying at workplace? Let's quickly look at the examples of bullying at workplace. Number one examples, when you're being put down in meetings. So you attend a board meeting and you're not allowed to speak up, you're not allowed to say what you have to say. Even if you're allowed to say it, you're being talked down on it. An example of this is you're trying to strategize and you suddenly have this brilliant idea and you mention it and you tell the board members or whoever you're having your meetings with, and you say, oh, I've got this bright idea, can we do it this way, XYZ? And they look at you and say, oh my god, okay, we don't think your idea counts, please can you let other people speak? That is outright bullying. Okay, so if you've ever been in that particular position, then just know that you just know that you were being bullied, or if you're going through that right now, you're being bullied. Now, the second, example of bullying at workplace that I would love us to talk about is when you're not being trained to be productive. So, for example, other team members are asked to they always go for trainings. They're asked to go for trainings, trainings that would help them do better, trainings that could lead to promotion, and you're just left there. Nobody's looking at you. You're just being sidelined while others are getting promoted, while others are getting more knowledge on the job, on the tasks. You're being sidelined, you're being ignored, like you don't exist. And then, of course, you know what that means. It makes you would feel unwanted. You won't be happy about that. That is bullying. So if you're in a company where your colleagues are getting the promotion, you're in a company where your colleagues are going out for trainings, they are getting trained, they are giving more chances to grow and to impact on the organization, and you're just left there and being ignored, you might want to take a second think of what's going on. It might be bullying. Okay, so if you're asked to do more work than everyone else, for me, that is relative. If you're very competent at what you do, then you will be asked to do more work. Okay? However, most times, if you're asked to do more work than everyone else, it could be bullying. You have to balance it. So like I said, if you're asked to do more work than everyone else, it could be that you're really competent and your manager, your supervisor, whoever you're working for feels more confident with you, or feels confident with you having to handle more tasks than everyone else. You would know there's a thin line between knowing that you're wanted and knowing that you're not wanted. So you would know whichever way you fall into that category of being given too much tax because you're just not being liked, you would know. So if you have that problem, you might want to take a second look at it. Now let's talk about the patterns. What are the patterns? Bullying has got patterns. It could be face to face. It could be once in a while. First of all, it could be something that happens on a regular basis. So every day you go to work, you have your heart in your mind, like you're scared. Oh my God, what's gonna happen at work today? And then you wake up in the morning, rather than get dressed and go to work, your heart skips, like you're going to the war front. So that is bullying. Okay, that's a pattern. So once you start getting scared of going back to your work environment, you start getting scared of working with a particular manager, working with a particular colleague, that colleague or that manager must be exhibiting some behaviors of bullying. Okay, so I just want us to understand, because some of us go through this and we don't even know it's bullying. We just feel like, oh, the manager is just a very difficult manager. It could be bullying. So you need to check it out. I want us to understand that part. Now, it could be a face-to-face thing. So like I said, it could happen regularly in a face-to-face thing. Someone could just walk up to you and just bully you outrightly. At workplace, we've had issues where, colleagues go up to their fellow colleagues and they just tell them outrightly, I don't like your color, or tell them outrightly, I don't like the way you speak. Can you speak better? Or tell them outrightly, you don't know what you're doing. You seem to be a stupid person. We've had issues like that in the work environment. So you need to take note of those tiny little things that affect you that you might not even notice is affecting you, okay? Now, it could be done on social media. Of course, that's so popular. Bullying happens every time on social media. It's amazing the way people use social media. Bullying happens. And it happens at work as well, It could happen on your work WhatsApp platform. So many things are not meant to be being said to people. So you need to watch it. It could be emails. It could be emails between you and your manager, between you and your colleague. The tone of the emails, you need to watch it to be sure that you're not facing bullying. And of course, phone calls. Someone can call you and just harass you on the phone, bully you on the phone. Remember, any attitude that makes you feel frightened, rather, I would like to use the word frightened. Any attitude that intimidates you, that you feel intimidated. So if someone calls you and you suddenly feel intimidated by what the person has just told you, it's bullying. Okay? We're going to talk about how to handle bullying in due course. Now, let's say sometimes bullying could be subtle. So if I am your manager and I don't like you, I could bully you in a very soft way, in this very subtle way that you won't even notice I'm bullying you. So I ignore, for example, if I ignore your opinion, about something that relates to your work, and you tell me something or what you think, and I just ignore you like you haven't spoken. I haven't spoken to you. I haven't intimidated you in any way, but I've just ignored you. And that is bullying in a subtle manner. So you need to check all this out so you know when you're being bullied and when you're not being bullied. Okay? Now, you really can't arrest anyone for bullying you. Bullies are all over. You have them everywhere. Everywhere you want to think of, they are bullies. It's an individual thing. If someone is a bully, the person is a bully. Okay, so you can't have them arrested. However, there's some things you could do. The courts is a place where if you have issues like bullying, okay, it can actually, especially in the workplace, something that you can take to the lawsuit. However, it's not called bullying, it's called harassment in the court of law. So if you can prove that bullying has become an harassment in the work environment, if you can prove that you're being harassed, that's the word they use in courts. If you can prove that you're being harassed in the work environment, then you can actually do something about it. That can be taken, further if you have enough proof to back up your evidence. Okay, so according to law, I'm not a lawyer, but however, as an HR professional, I know one or two things about law. So, but in the court of law, you can't, it is called an harassment. However, there is a definition to it. So you could say that bullying, okay, in quotes, bullying is an harassment when people are shown unwanted behavior. And according to law, the unwanted behavior that people can show you that will be termed as an harassment is when you're being discriminated against your age. Okay, that is not allowed. As a human resource professional, I know that it happens. Yes, we can't rule it out, but it is actually against the law. If you have a proof, you can actually take that to court. So if you're being bullied because of your age, if you're being bullied because of a disability you have, that isn't tolerated by law as well. If you have your proof, it is tenable in the court of law. Okay, if you're being bullied as a result of gender discrimination, as long as you have a proof to prove that, you have a proof to show to the courts that you're being discriminated on the basis of your gender, then you might have a case. Okay, this happens a lot at work, I know, but we don't really educate ourselves on these things, so we just let our rights pass us by. Okay, now it could also be being bullied or being harassed. I don't want to use the word bully anymore because we're talking about in terms of the law. It could also be being harassed as a result of, maybe pregnancy, maternity, as a result of your race, as a result of your religion, as a result of your sexual belief, your sexual orientation, So those are the ways you could actually, use the court of law to fight anyone who is trying to bully you. Now, what's next to you? So if you notice that you're being bullied, if you notice that you are in this category, what do? Like I said, you can't just go to the court of law and say someone is harassing you, someone you're being bullied by your boss or by your colleague or whatever, so you want to take. You have to have evidence to show that that bullying is an harassment, to show that you're being harassed in your place of work. How do you go about this? Now, the first step you take, because sometimes someone might bully you and won't even know they're bullying you. You might have a supervisor, you might have a line manager who would say things to you and wouldn't even know that they've just intimidated you. So in that case, what do? You really can't tell if the person is doing it intentionally or it's just a personality fault of the person. So you need to speak to that person and make the person to understand that the behavior he or she is exhibiting towards you is not proper. Now you do that in a firm way but not aggressive. Okay, you do that politely. You explain how you feel. This is what you do to me and this is how I feel about it. I really don't think it's proper and I am not comfortable with this behavior. Now you have made you've informed the person how you feel about that particular kind of behavior, and a reasonable person would apologize and tell you, oh, I don't mean it that way, I'm sorry if you feel this way, it's not my intention. Okay, however, you need to stick to the facts, so there's no need to dilly-dally, just stick to the facts. And how do you stick to the facts? You need to have a record. On the 20th of January 2019, you did this to me and XYZ was a witness to what you did. You have your proof, you have your record. So keep a record of incidents like this. Keep a record of bullying. I've heard of a lot of cases where, subordinates are regularly being screamed at, intimidated. You just want that people come to work and they want to intimidate people and they want to boss people around. I've heard of incidents like that. So in order for you to protect yourself, you should have a record. Whenever that incident happens, whenever you're being bullied, write it down. On a day like this, I was being bullied by XYZ. The reason for this was this. This was how I felt. And if there was any weakness there, you write down the names of the people that were there as at the time that incident happened. Another way you can document this is by putting it in form of a mail. So rather than going face to face and meeting your manager, send a mail. mails are always recorded. So I mean, send a mail, a polite mail to your manager, explaining how you feel about being bullied, explaining how you feel about certain behaviors. Okay. Some managers may not take that lightly, but you have made your point. Nobody should go to the office and be intimidated. That's not why you're being paid. You're not being paid to be intimidated by anybody. So you need to do that. You put it in the mail in a very polite format and send it to your manager. Even if he or she gets angry over it, you've made a point. You have made your point clear that you're not going to tolerate an unwanted behavior towards you. Okay, so now let's talk about other things you could do. If you have like a counselor, if you work in a place where you have a counselor, you could talk to your counselor. If you have a superior, someone superior, someone higher in hierarchy to report to, please go ahead, report what you have noticed, okay, so it doesn't continue, so you can protect your person. Okay, now let's talk about effective ways of reporting a bullying. So how do you report bullying? How do you report someone bullying you? How do you report someone harassing you at work? Every organization, at least most organizations, have the human resource department. That's your first point of call. Okay, so you have identified this attitude. You've been able to understand that it is an harassment to your personality. You know that you're being harassed. You know that you're not being, wanted in that environment. Like I said before, you need to keep a record. You keep the record, the date, the time, the incident, the location, the scenario, everything that happened. You have to record it because you need to have proof if you want to stop that attitude. Okay, you need to keep a record of the witnesses too. I said that before. Okay, now after reporting this, you report this to the human resource department of your organization, if there is a human resource department. For people who work in medium and small and medium sized enterprises, you should have a human resource department. For people who work in multinationals, of course, you have a very good human resource section in that organization that you can actually report to. So that's your first point of call. We report to the human resource department. Report to the human resource manager. If there's no human resource department, report to the next available senior officer. Now, what happens if you're being bullied by the most senior manager in that organization? What do? So for some of us who work in very small organizations where we just have we have the managing director of that organization as the most senior personnel in that organization, and you're being bullied by the most senior personnel, what do? At this point, if you have all your record of the days and period and everything of being bullied, yes, you can actually sue that organization. That's if you really want to go ahead with that. If it's not necessary, what you can do is just put in your resignation and leave. Nobody deserves to be intimidated. Nobody is paid to be intimidated. So if you feel that your employers cannot protect you, because that's the duty of an employer, to protect you against things like that, against bullying, against workplace issues, anything that would affect your mentality in the workplace, anything that can affect you negatively, it is the responsibility of your employer to ensure that the workplace is safe for you. If you're not getting this support from your employer, then it just means that you're at the wrong place. You are not supposed to work for that employer. Okay? And if you have proof of a very high level of harassment, please, you can take this up with the right channel. Take this up with the right people and deal with it, so someone else don't suffer from it next time. Okay? So it means it is time for you to move on if you work in such an environment where you're not being protected, where you're being bullied, where you're made to feel like you're stupid, you're made to feel like you're not human. if you've tried all this and it doesn't work, please, it is time to move to an organization that would value you as an individual. All right, my friends and families, I'm done with today's video. I'm going to stop here. I hope you have enjoyed my discussion today. And before I go, I would love to say thank you, a big thank you to those of you who have supported me, who have, given me feedback. Your feedbacks are, I can't explain how important they are to me. They are so important because, like I said, feedback is important if you want to grow. Thank you for the feedback. A big shout out to Omoba. Thank you for your feedback. I can read your feedback on a daily basis. A big shout out to Tade. A big shout out to Ofyong. A big shout out to Kaya. Thank you all for your feedback. You're feeding me. You're giving me, good constructive criticism on what I'm doing, and you're trying to make me a better person. I appreciate you. Thank you all for your support out there. For those of you who are liking my channel, who are liking my discussions, who have liked me, my channel in one way or the other, who have subscribed, I say thank you to you all. Okay, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a lovely day. Before you go, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and please like. If you're happy with what I have just discussed, please support me by liking, and please subscribe to my channel. Click also on the notification bell so you get a notification whenever I post a new video. Thank you and have a lovely day.